They have you go VR.
Yeah.
It's in Antarctica. That's where they're keeping from. Konami's been working on the beta out there.
We gotta go over there, guys.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine just for a second, just like you get out there and they're with the dual disc and on like some like orb where it's like you're like no way.
I was like, Bryan, get Jordan. I got him.
This is a topic idea, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say like this was my idea, but like Tay is definitely the expert on this one.
I'm not an expert. I want to make that clear before we start. We are not experts.
I mean, I work.
We're not experts.
We're learning from as you're reading books and years of watching videos and
YouTube bullshit.
We should have. You guys should have dressed up. I dressed up. I was like, I'm gonna.
I thought about it.
I was like, I gotta look professional. We can talk about some science stuff today.
Hat.
Yeah, I got a nice sweater.
Stare a lot.
Guys, welcome to episode 134 of the HeadKanon podcast. We're glad you guys are here today. Yeah, we're excited. We're going to be talking about some science stuff today. I'm going to be very serious. We're going to very serious. We're not going to make any jokes today.
Drop it immediately. We're going to crack immediately.
No, I'm going to hold. I'm not. This is very serious, very elegant topic today. No, we're gonna talk about aliens and shit. Like, who am I kidding?
It would eventually lead into that, but let's start off like kind of serious.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you guys, we had a good response from last week's videos that we thought we'd do another kind of like similar topic this week, is kind of get a little bit more into. We're kind of like into talking about, especially me and you, talking about string theory and then just different dimensions. And then Bryan, I'm sure
I used to be really into it. Like
Yeah.
I when I was in college, I used to read a lot about like string theory, and I used to watch a lot of Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson and all these people talk about this shit. Michio Kaku,
not Miko.
If you watched it, I don't like the Eric Weinstein guy. What his name is? He's annoying as
Who?
fuck.
Eric Weinstein.
Oh, I don't think.
Damn, we were already calling someone out.
Yeah, I already calling him out.
He hates string theory.
I mean, you're gonna have skeptics. I mean, you ain't doing your theory right. You're not gonna have opposers to it.
I'll listen to both sides of the angle. Who's right? Who's wrong?
Well, then you can get your greatest abductions from that. Anything. But anyways, guys, I'm Jordan. If you're listening to this on audio, this is Bryan, and this is Tay.
I'm reading down to I'm reading down the document, and like the escalation of dimensions is so funny. It's so funny. And anyway, we'll get into it. We'll get into it, I guess.
If you guys are new here, we do a new episode every Tuesday, so check those out. If you guys want to follow us on any like social medias or anything like that, or keep up with the show, or join the Discord or anything, talk to us directly. Links are all down below, so go check those out. And anything. Let's just jump in. Tay, you want to
first? Like we had a good week last week episode with subscribers and views, so just keep that up. We're near 1,000. We're going to hit 1,000 for the year ends.
I think so.
So don't do. You're jinxing it.
No, I'm not jinxing
it. No. I think we're going to do it.
We're getting like 2 like every few days. So.
Yeah. So I think we'll rock it because we only need 80 more.
Yeah. So get us to 1,000. We really appreciate it. And
we might do something special.
Come hang out with the Discord.
We might do it.
Don't be promising shit.
Yeah, we can't do it.
Whoa.
We have not had a conversation about this. Fucking relax.
What did I say?
Let's get it to 1,000.
I was saying we might do it like a live stream or something. I don't know. We hit 1,000.
Special.
Like, what if I die that day?
That'd be the special.
Live stream.
I would have to do
No funeral live reacts.
It's me going, oh, and then the skull emoji.
Yeah, emojis.
We're already completely disrailed from the.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, man.
Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about?
I would have it would be so. We'd have to make like a HK flag and just lay it over his coffin, just like a soldier.
Wait, F for respect.
We'd be like pounding like little the Fast and Furious like little F's into his coffin.
Put my Yu-Gi-Oh cards in there.
Yeah.
All right. So, what keeps you guys up at night? Theories. So this is a Jordan topic, clearly.
This is honestly.
What theories keep you up at night?
Wait. This is definitely. I know how crazy that sounds. This is definitely Tay forte.
Yeah, I like this shit.
You love talking science.
Yeah, I do.
You love big dick.
Yeah. Huh? Don't say that. That sounds awful.
Yeah, cut that. You love big theory in me. You like to.
No,
Big smartest man in the room, right here. Big theory in me. He loves to have the biggest theory.
What's
Big
your
Bang.
first thought that you said about that? I was like, you love big dick?
Yeah. He coming in here, he's like speaking facts, like just like.
That's like cringe like that.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. What?
But not nothing.
Anyway, so what theories keep you up at night? So I know that this happened because in episode 133, we got into it talking about like paranormal shit.
Got way off.
And fucking multi-dimensional travel Bigfoot, which I still think
please
is
tell
hilarious.
me someone went and looked that up.
I have it.
That was a thing.
I couldn't find it. Yeah.
That's your headcanon, Crockett. This is
hey, well.
But we got into that, and then we had to cut out the half of that episode because we fucking derailed. But and then I got COVID, so we weren't.
I seen that Joe Rogan gif. Jamie pulled it up.
Yeah, dude, that was so funny.
Dude, that's fucking ironic though.
No, it was so funny.
That's
So
hilarious.
the reason we had to cut out half of the episode is because I shit talked Joe Rogan like almost through the entire hour. And we got fucking heated.
It was like a 40. It was like an hour and a half conversation on the podcast.
How serious you ever seen this?
And then it was like another hour conversation out in the parking lot. It's so funny to look back on that now. I was like, God
damn, we were on one that day.
We're just.
So I got COVID last week after shit talking Joe Rogan.
That's like the universe is just like give me the middle finger.
Go fuck yourself.
God damn. And then it was surprising because neither one was
Neither
caught
one of
either.
you got COVID. You guys were totally fine. Totally fine.
That's insane.
Yeah.
We took the horse medicine.
Quit bleaching the body.
Fucking.
we mainline bleach.
Jesus. I told Libby
sunlight is the
that I
killer.
got COVID. The only message I sent her was like, I shit talked Joe Rogan too hard.
COVID gods got you. They fucking American sniper giraffe.
So that's what we were in here last week because I was fucking sick with COVID. We're all good now. But because of that conversation that we had last week, Crockett and Tay kept texting each other on this Oppenheimer and Einstein type beat. I saw on Instagram.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
What started that was like I got a book on quantum mechanics.
Why did you get a book?
Because it's
I want his story. Like, this motherfucker shit. Like, come on.
If anyone's new here and you don't really know me at all, I have undiagnosed ADHD, and
severe undiagnosed ADHD.
And my brain goes into hyper modes, fixations on certain things.
Yeah.
And this month was quantum mechanics.
But you won't stop there though. You'll keep going.
No, well, I'm already on my second book.
My favorite thing
Parallel
about
universes.
you, Crockett, is that you look like the straight white guy that people make fun of in California in movies. Like you look like
The frat guy.
just a big buff, blonde-haired frat guy that lives in Cali.
Right.
But you are so not that in terms of personality.
I'm the human iceberg.
Who's written this book?
Oh, it was by Sean
Carroll.
Sean
him.
Carroll,
I know
yeah.
him.
Sean
I'm talking about
Carroll.
the second book.
Oh, the Bryan.
Brian Cox?
Is
Brian Green?
Michio Kaku.
Michio Kaku. Yeah.
Michio Kaku, yeah.
He's a cool dude. He's entertaining. He's the one that I learned most of everything that I know about like string theory and like multidimensional stuff, because it's the one that I watch a lot. I went into this rabbit hole on YouTube for ages ago.
You know what's funny is that I got onto the quantum mechanics side of TikTok, and there's like
Space edit.
there's like anime music video edits of like Michio Kaku,
It's fire,
and
too.
like dude, it's like the funniest thing. 'Cause it's just them going hard, and it's like there's those explaining signs, and it's like flipping, and
I love the Bill Nye one too.
So funny.
man,
Yeah.
I love TikTok. It's so funny.
So today's topic is what theories keep you up at night. And the way Tate did the write-up for this episode, so I'm just going to read this because I think it's fun. What theories could be the key to understanding everything? Could these theories prove the existence of paranormal beings or levels of consciousness such as the astral plane or dreams?
So we mentioned
Brought through you by 3 idiots on the internet.
Yeah, we mentioned briefly in the past episode about like ghosts and dreams and astral plane and all that shit. So we're gonna
like how ghosts could be like quantum energy, like being stored in between dimensions and shit like that.
Well, it's like when you get into like talking about this stuff, it's like when you start bringing up different dimensions, it's like anything goes. I mean, like it's like, well, whatever. It's like it's another dimension and stuff. So anything out of the realm of possibility is like unlimitless.
Yeah, it's a limitless possibility thing when you're talking about multidimensional.
Right.
It leads into everything.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Let's the first theory that we have listed here is string theory. What the fuck is string theory? Which one of you is going to run this down?
Tayu knows a lot more about this one.
So string theory or superstring theory can be both. By the way, we quoted this from space.com and physics.org. So clearly we didn't write this straight up.
Yeah, we did not write this definition.
Well, and then it's like...
Yeah. I put a simpler version down there for people to understand.
Well, so there's string theory and then there's superstring theory. Superstring theory...
Are they two different things?
Superstring theory is how it says super. It gets extreme.
Gotcha.
Yeah. String theory is like just a basic version of it, but what people kind of believe nowadays and what you hear nowadays is superstring theory.
Okay, so give me the rundown on this shit.
So what is string theory? String theory is a collection of ideas in theoretical physics in which the fundamental building blocks of nature are not particles, such as point like electron, but instead strings. Imagine microscopic wiggling rubber bands.
That I knew from Michio Kaku and like a little interview that he did.
Yeah, I learned it from Bryan Green. What that was. Yeah. So string theory is a primary theory of quantum gravity and elegant combines the theories of gravity and quantum mechanics. Physicists has been searching for a theory of quantum gravity for nearly 100 years. Moreover, ideas from string theory have been used to solve problems in mathematics, other fields of theoretical physics. In many ways, string theory is a language that can be used by theoretical physicists to solve problems and to investigate the mathematics of the universe. Yeah. So, for the viewers out there who's watching and people who don't know what the hell we just said, here's a simple version of how to explain string theory. So, imagine an apple or literally anything in your room. Inside the apple is molecules. Inside the molecules is atoms. Inside of them atoms is the nucleus. Inside the nucleus are protons and neutrons. Inside of protons/neutrons are, I can never pronounce this, quarks.
Quarks. Yeah.
That's where, as we know right now, that's where it stops. It stops at quarks. String theory is what is beyond the quarks, which it says the wiggling strings of energy.
Right, because the quarks are like the building block right now. The building block of like everything. That goes
neutrinos, quarks. Yeah. There's like a billion of these things.
Right. But after the quark is where everything stops behaving like a particle.
As we know of right now.
And so...
Well, actually, if you want to get into quantum mechanics is... So, there, you have physics, right?
Yeah.
Quantum mechanics is and physics is a measurement of things and everything like that. Quantum mechanics is the measurement of things really small like this.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting things about quantum mechanics, and it kind of like leads into like different realities and stuff like that, is... There's a thing called superposition when there's like what you have like neutrons and all the I can't remember the other neutrinos and all those things.
Yeah.
When you're going in like that deep into something in which I don't even know how the
superposition is when something takes the same two positions at the same time, right?
Yes, because this is where it gets really confusing for people, and this is like where I have a hard time wrapping my head around, and this is why I was trying to learn quantum mechanics. Just the general idea of it, not like that book also had so many goddamn equations. I'm like, this makes me feel so stupid. I felt smart and stupid at the same time. But superposition is like those things are moving around in different. It's either spin up, spin down, spin right to certain quadrants of this.
Yeah.
And when it's in what's called superposition, it's constantly moving, right?
Right.
So when you technically go to measure it, because it is superposition, that means that once you acknowledge where it is at, it's actually impossible. So that means that if you are measuring it spin up, there is another world in which you are watching it spin down.
Yeah, I learned this. Yeah.
And it just doesn't, and it's not that you are really affecting it. It's just whenever you observe it like that, that just means the other you is observing it down.
We see it going right.
And it's like you can't. It's not like you are affecting the outcome, and it's not because like you did something and you're not, and you can't do something to be on the other one.
It's just like vibrating so quickly that like one version of you is seeing it go up, one version of you is seeing it go down.
Yeah, because technically it's in two places at once.
Yeah.
When we broke this down, I'm texting Jordan.
That's the mini world theory. Yeah, mini worlds theory.
That's the thing that gets used with Schrodinger's cat all the time.
Yeah, well, this is actually Schrodinger's theory or Schrodinger's equation. I can never say that guy's name. That's and then it's like what's this? Not Planck, but someone I forget the guy's name, but it's something demon, something like. Damon. No, it's a crazy foreign last name, and then it's something equation, and then it's something with some. It's a whole thing with quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
So while you guys find that, you're probably wondering how did this lead into our topic? String theory predicts 10 total space-time dimensions, but we clearly live in the world with 4 dimensions, which is 3 space and 1 time.
Right, but we can't move through the time dimension freely. It's like we're just forced in it. We're 3-dimensional beings.
Above that below time.
Below time.
You're trapped in time. So thankfully, it's not a problem to get from 10 to 4. 6 of the dimensions predicted by string theory could be wrapped into a small compact shape. These compacted dimensions could then only be seen by large precise equipment, like
the
CERN's Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah,
probably heard before.
Which is fucking crazy. It's what we did with the God particle.
Yeah,
that's what we did.
That was
actually a ferret went into the CERN particle collider.
Did we talk about this?
Yeah, we did last time. So that's what shifted us into the wrong timeline. It's that ferret in 2016.
Like shifting through each dimension.
How the fuck does a ferret?
That's fair of this Bigfoot.
No, he sees it. He's like the watcher.
The ferret?
Someone got a
this ferret's just fucking tweaking out in his cage all the time. He's just like fucking the most anxious ferret.
Yeah.
The thing about which they never ended up doing it because when this was getting built, that Large Hadron Collider, was this in Zurich? Or where is this at?
I don't know.
Is it like a European country?
It's
in European Turkey, maybe?
Yeah.
Let's fact check that.
I always remember this thing because of what is it? The
Project Bluebeam?
No. There was a movie. What is that movie called?
It was in Geneva in Switzerland.
Switzerland. That's I was saying Zurich.
Why did I say fucking Turkey?
What is that movie with Tom Hanks where he's like angels and demons?
Angels and demons.
Yeah. What was the first one?
Da Vinci Code.
The Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci.
Angel and Demons. I always remember this because Angel and Demons
is
about
of the book. It's
Never knew that.
Yeah.
So you guys told me that actually.
Yeah. But Angel and Demons is about the Large Hadron Collider and they're trying to stop it because they think it's gonna like
destroy the world.
Well, they think it's like gonna do something with like proving God, or they call it the God particle, and it's like they're like, we gotta stop this.
So the 10 dimensions. So bear with me here; it gets really complicated.
Oh wait! Before you start that, what I wanted to say about the Large Hadron Collider is like back before they built it, they thought they were going to prove string theory when they collided because what was going to happen was like there's going to be 2 particles. They were expecting those particles when they would smack together that they could measure. They were going to measure it where they're like, well, if it gets lighter, the 2 particles literally went into another dimension.
Yeah.
They were trying to prove it, but ended up not be able to do it.
Right.
That's insane.
Which I think they're still trying. I think they have to do a bunch of tests or something like that. Right?
Like one failed experiment isn't going to be.
It goes really fucking fast.
It goes
What?
I'd love it if you like. That's like when they were like thinking about like, can you just give it to me in layman terms? It goes really fucking fast.
Yeah.
That is. There is nothing that I find funnier than someone breaking down like a really complex explanation, and like I just imagine it like that, like in a boardroom, and there's just like, what does it do? And he goes into this 10-minute explanation. And I was, what does that mean? And the guy just sighs and goes like,
what is it, the movie trope? Like
it goes really fucking fast.
That's English nerd with a gun to his head. Yeah.
English, yeah. Can I get that in normal terms? It goes fucking fast.
So the 10 dimensions.
It's a PG-13 movie. That's the one time they get to use their F word.
Yeah, if you right to like pause the video, go back. But the 10 dimensions, we're gonna list it here. So the first dimension is length, the x-axis, which is a straight line.
Right. That's like the most basic thing.
This is like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
Second dimension is height, which is y-axis, 2D shapes.
Yeah.
So a square, triangle, trapezoid, anything.
Yeah.
2D-dimensional like cartoon characters.
Yeah.
Like flat.
Third dimension is length, x-axis, height, which is the y-axis, and depth, which is the new z-axis.
The XYZ summoning. Go ahead.
I don't know why they did that. So that's
different
third
dimensional
dimension.
Demon.
Third dimension is the 3D objects. We exist in the third dimension, so everything here.
This is the third dimension.
Yeah, this is the third dimension.
We got it. Like
it's crazy that there's 2 dimensions before us. That blows my mind. I don't know.
Well, it's like you draw something. I mean, that's first dimension.
Conceptually, when you think it's like, oh, I exist in the third dimension, the first and second dimension suddenly feel fucking weird when I think about that. I don't know why. Continue.
The fourth dimension is time. Time governs the properties of all known matter at any given point. So we clearly exist below the fourth dimension. So this is the only dimensions that we factually know exist. Yeah. First, second, third, and fourth.
Because the idea is that the dimension previous cannot influence the dimension above it, right? So like we experience the fourth dimension, but we cannot influence the fourth dimension.
Yeah, we're trapped in it.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Did you have anything on here about time dilation?
Time dilation.
Yeah.
That's a function of gravity.
Yeah.
Is that gravity?
It's gravity and speed.
Well, it's gravity affecting time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's what it is. But time dilation happens.
It had nothing to do with the dimension thing.
Nothing to do with the dimensions. Yeah. It's a matter of like it's a thing of like gravity, matter, and then the traveling of light. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you go on a building,
but that's crazy though. Like if you get on a rocket ship and you're able to go fast enough, you don't age.
Yeah, because you're going against the gravity of the things that are causing time to dilate around you.
Right.
So when you're moving at the speed of light, even if you go around the Earth, you're moving faster than the gravity of the Earth can like affect you.
That's our logical way of time traveling.
Right. Yeah.
Speed of light. Like not some
but you can never go back.
Yeah, we can't.
You can only go forward at the speed of time. And you're not really traveling towards time, you're just experiencing time really quickly.
Yeah.
So this is where string theory comes into play. It's the fifth dimension. According to superstring theory, fifth dimension could give us the opportunity to see different possibilities of our own world, meaning different timelines.
That's freaking. Imagine if we find out, if we prove the fifth dimension, we just see like all the branching timelines of,
and just be mad about the things you haven't done.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Can you break that down? I mean, can we pause on that for a second?
I literally broke it down.
I mean, we break it down, but like how? So if you were able to get in, what would that mean?
I read it again. According to string theory, the fifth dimension could give us the opportunity to see different possibilities of our own world.
So the fifth dimension, let's say like an Interstellar, right?
That's the Tesseract, yes.
That was like he was in that like it was like a dark room, and then he was able to like see these wires and go down.
That would be the fourth dimension because he didn't see the possibilities that could be happening at the same time. He was only traveling through time, so he was in the fourth dimension. So he could influence the past, but he couldn't see what would happen if he did something in the past.
Yeah, he didn't change the future. He just influenced the past.
Yeah, so he just communicated the past. But the fifth dimension, if you flip a coin and you're able to see in the fifth dimension, you would be able to see that you got heads and tails at the same exact time.
I wonder what I'm trying to think of is like, what would that be like? Would I just be seeing like 40,000s of me flipping the coin all at the same time in just a dark space or something like that?
Actually,
yeah, that would be crazy.
It is the fifth dimension. Fifth dimension gives him the opportunity to affect the past. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I'm assuming the fifth dimension would be something like.
So I guess he created a new.
Is it only the past, or can you move forward and backwards?
It just says the past.
Well, that'd be the theory for it.
Yeah. Well, you can go in the future too, because your timeline's in set. See start and end.
Yeah.
You could choose any point in your time. I would assume it'd be like going out in the city and you walk each street.
Mm-hmm.
And each street's a different. You start. So say you're in an intersection, right?
Yeah.
The intersection has the same beginning.
Right.
So each 1, 2, 3, 4, but they have different times or choices.
On
that way. So it'd be probably the most logical way. It starts.
Would you see yourself going through it?
Possibly.
You probably based on what I'm reading, the idea is give us the opportunity to see different possibilities for our own world. Mm-hmm. So you would be seeing every possible choice that can be happening at the exact same time.
Yeah, of our world. Keyword.
It's like a mocking go shotgun.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
So the sixth dimension is the possibilities of seeing a plane with possible worlds. We could compare and position all the possible universes that start with the same condition as ours, the Big Bang. This is the dimension this dimension and beyond is the multiverse mini world theory comes from.
And this is the point where we're talking about like the fifth dimension, you're still limited to this world. And this universe.
Oh, okay. So you wanted to break it down. Like fifth dimension is like just seeing, like imagine like this dimension's a car, and then so imagine the car is in the fourth dimension. The fifth dimension would be like open up the car and be able to take apart things and then like put it together. but you wouldn't be able to like go to other cars.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
It's every choice in this respective universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is mathematically an insane amount of choices.
Yeah, it's
Unfathomable.
That's like I would just imagine if you got to a fifth dimension, would your body just be ripped apart? No. Could you survive being into?
Well,
that's a good question.
When it comes, I looked at this stuff. There's things we just generally couldn't comprehend because we exist and we understand things in 3D dimensional space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't even fathom what a fifth dimension.
Like at that point, when you get to the fifth dimension, there's like you cannot process that information.
There's a scene in Interstellar where they went to the Gargantua black hole when there was this weird shape. It was affecting time and space. And they're like, what is this? Like, we don't fucking know. It looks weird to us, but let's say hypothetically like a fifth dimension of being exists in that world. It looks normal to them.
Right.
Yeah. So it looked different.
This gets like very scary. Wouldn't you? I mean, this is about to be I feel like this is going to be a serious.
It gets conceptually terrifying.
It's an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Which I would probably talk on later when you look at as you narrow it down to how things work in the world. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, it don't keep me up at night, but it's just interesting to think of. The seventh dimension.
Wait, so the sixth dimension would be like in Dragon Ball Super where they have universe 6, 7, 8, 9. And then like they exist in their own bubble, but like you could potentially travel outside of them if you were a sixth dimensional being.
So sixth dimension is like the thinking of, if imagine like every universe, every different alternate universes of like you.
But they'd have the same condition as ours.
Okay, so it would be, sixth dimension is our dimension, just different versions.
Different variants of that.
Okay.
Of that universe.
So like,
Okay, so and this is where many worlds would lie, where it's just like, it's still you. It's not a different type of version of you. It's still you, but you're just making a different choice.
Something slightly different.
Yeah.
Seventh dimension also, this is where we talking about superalizing. The seventh dimension is able to access different worlds with different conditions than our own.
Right.
So this is the true multiverse thing, like Earth 1, Earth 2. I'm black, and you be black, and then it's Earth 2. I'll be white and whatever. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
That'd be the seventh dimension. Eighth dimension is many.
Wait. Don't skip over this too quickly. The seventh dimension. Imagine this. So the seventh dimension still has a sixth dimension.
Yeah. So the seventh dimension exists beyond the sixth.
Well, so we have our dimension, right?
Yeah.
So like a sixth or a seventh dimension would still have things that
they can go everywhere.
Oh, okay. So they're free traveling.
Yeah, 6 is only limited to variants of their own.
So in 6, we would only be able to see the possibilities of universes that started with the Big Bang. Mm-hmm. So like every universe that started with the Big Bang is accessible through the sixth dimension. Seventh dimension is any universe that may have started with the Big Bang, may not have started with the Big Bang.
Which actually was not actually a Big Bang. That's actually a misconception. It wasn't big and it wasn't a loud bang at the beginning anyway. It was actually two particles just smacking together.
Really small.
Yeah, very quiet explosion.
And it was
just compressed infinitely until it
strongest force in the known existence.
And apparently it wasn't like you know how you think like it's like all white or all black.
No,
or
it was nothing. It was literally nothing.
Well, no, apparently it was cloudy.
It was heat.
Interesting.
It was just clouds. Yeah.
The eighth dimension.
Oh, and another thing. Sorry, this fucking book's got it. We actually have stardust in our bodies.
Yeah.
It's no, I didn't know that. I thought that was crazy.
You're all part of the universe.
It's one of those normal things that like, all right, it's fucked up to hear. You're made of stardust.
You're
like,
part of
what?
the cosmos.
Yeah. The cosmos is you.
Eighth dimension.
Eight dimensions.
The eighth dimension is a plane of possible world histories, each with their own different conditions than our own.
So what is the difference between the 7 and the 8?
That's what was hard when I read this article. That was confusing to me. That's when it lost me there. I don't have many words on that. That's what it says. So I'm going to read it again. A plane of possible world histories, each one with different conditions than our own. It sounds like 7, but I'm assuming...
Oh, like, okay.
Sounds like 7 with alternate timelines.
Okay, so the eighth dimension is a plane of possible worlds, histories, and with each one with different conditions than our own. So it would be like like everything on fire, or everything in darkness, or everything is made out of ice. But there's beings that just live through ice, like things that we couldn't comprehend living through. But like air, instead of air, it's ice. Or something like that. That's what I'm picking up from.
The ninth dimension is the ability to compare all possible universes with all different laws of physics and creation.
Let's invite Michio Kaku to the podcast. See, how much does it take to bring him in here?
Talks. So in this universe,
he's so cute.
Yeah. So the 10th dimension is everything imaginable is possible. So
wait, hold on.
You're
Ninth dimension, the ability to compare all possible universes with all different laws of physics and creation conditions. So that means that like every possible outcome that could have sparked life is viewable in the ninth dimension. Right? Is that what that means? It's like to compare all possible universes with all different laws of physics. So like the ninth dimension
to be heaven.
Sounds like the 10th dimension. Sounds like the 10th. That threw me off. I don't know. It's like, what the fuck? So, yeah, okay. I'm picking it up. And the 10th dimension is everything imaginable is possible.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing's higher than that.
Yeah. I mean, I would fucking hope so.
There are some theories. I haven't looked into it. Yeah. I don't think any physicists actually looked into it, but it's like 25, it was 26 higher level dimensions. No one talks about those things. It just starts at...
They're like, let's get down to the fifth dimension first.
10, I would assume is essentially God.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would say heaven's the ninth dimension.
If you were like an angel, you would be in the ninth dimension.
Yeah.
Compare all possible universes. Well, they assume that all universes have the same...
Because that looks like that dimension, the ninth dimension, would be like looking down on everything else.
Yeah.
That would be the viewing point.
What dimension does your mind just snap?
Probably the fifth. Yeah. Probably straight the fifth. I would imagine as soon as you get into another reality, you just snap.
Everything higher, we would just...
Yeah, like I feel like we could handle time. I feel like if like a human somehow ended up in the fourth dimension, I feel like they could conceivably be okay.
Bryan.
What?
Do you remember that time that we're in Evan's class and that loud music was playing?
Yeah.
And you're like, and you're about to...
Had a fucking
you think you can handle time?
Yeah. Listen, I don't know if I can handle time.
I don't think anyone can handle it. I don't think anyone can just be, like watching everything go backwards and forwards. And
so this got me thinking. We got this all wrong clearly last week. Yeah. I'm assuming. So since beings
we need a fucking scientist on here for real.
Since you're above time, do these beings die? Do time exist with them?
Well, I think that they
would have to
they know when their lifespan is over, and then they can't access anything past that point in time.
If you're higher dimension, you can access all of these.
Yeah. But like, if you're in the fourth dimension, right, and then you live for 100 years, your existence.
I'm talking about fifth dimensional beings.
Oh yeah. I don't know if they fucking. I feel like this is what I'm getting at. Like in the fourth dimension, I feel like you can conceivably experience the fourth dimension, and like your brain would adjust somewhat because time is not a foreign concept.
Yeah.
Once you get to the fifth dimension, I'm killing myself. I can't do it. Like my brain would snap. Like there's no way that I can conceive anything that happens past the fourth dimension.
Yeah, they can see the start and end of their lives.
Yeah. And so like, because if you're a fourth dimensional being, you can move through time, but you're only going to be able to move through the point that you were born and the point that you were.
So did they work this out in like just equations to figure out that there would be 10 dimensions?
Mm-hmm. String theory leads to those higher dimensions.
I don't know how the fuck the math works out, but it's what the math says. That's why it's called theoretical physics, because it's like literally unprovable.
So after the dimensions we discussed, and you're still having a hard time, rewind back. So it goes to why questions.
Wait, shut up, nerd. Just tell me which one is going to put him in the Yu-Gi-Oh universe.
That would be
probably
anything but 6 and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 and beyond.
All right. Whichever one has Battle City in it, just drop me off there.
That means that Kaiba was in the third dimension in his Yu-Gi-Oh universe and went all the fucking way to the ninth to fight Atem.
Yeah. He probably like fight an alternate version. Like, you're not the same. Yeah.
That would be
in this dimension.
I can see your flaw. You're wrong.
That would be a great like Yu-Gi-Oh side story. Just Kaiba traveling through parallel universes trying to find the one Atem.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Anyway,
it's a Marvel storyline actually.
Oh really?
God. Doom.
No, that's funny.
That's how he got his powers. So I pick general questions or opinion. They're not fact.
Yeah,
I made it clear. These are opinions.
You'll notice that my section is very blank there.
Yeah.
Because I did not have time
to
write this.
My questions are what we said earlier, are dreams or astral predictions, glimpses to the sixth dimension and beyond. So I said last time, since these specifically the ninth dimension says you can ability to compare all possible universes with different laws of physics. So I was thinking while writing this on my computer. So dreams aren't different timelines. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
After making this article, because none of my choices will lead that way. These are clearly alternate universes with different things happening.
Interesting.
So that's why I said, is it I split it sixth dimension, not fifth dimension, because fifth dimension is with different timelines. Yeah, these aren't my timelines. I'm not fighting a giant rabbit in this current time. Right, no, that's not happening.
Because it breaks reality.
It breaks reality.
Yeah.
So that's why I said sixth dimension could be an alternate universe with me fighting this fucking thing or whatever. Or astral planes. This is a confusing one because some people can exist. So my experience.
Hey, do you want to explain astral projection for people who don't understand?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me pull up the.
What is that?
I just had a Wikipedia page to it. So astral projection is or also known as astral traveling, is a term in ecoism to describe how do you say that word?
Esotericism.
Esotericism. Oh, I can't even say that. Esotericism. Terrorism? Dream terrorism.
Esotericism.
Yeah, what he said. All right, describes an internal out of God. I can't.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Astral projection, also known as astral travel, is a term used in esotericism to describe an intentional out-of-body experience, or OBE, that assumes the existence of a subtle body known as the astral body or body of light, through which consciousness can function separately from the physical body and travel throughout the astral plane. It's a pretty ancient thing. I'm not going to read past it, but it's a pretty ancient thing, and it's related to like occult practices and like meditation and chakras and body energy. My dad thinks he can fast travel. Fast travel.
Your dad's playing a Bethesda game.
Astral travel, like my dad has had experiences with astral travel apparently. I've never had him, but he always describes it as like the same way.
We just like gotta have your dad on the fucking podcast.
What do you say?
He describes it as like he describes it as like your soul leaving your body, essentially. So like you can see your own body, and then if you think about somewhere you want to be, you immediately move to that location. But it's like the universe is moving around you instead of like you moving through the universe.
So my experience, I have flown through space.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've had it and I've had it. You've never done it.
I have no fucking idea. I think I'm just
he has controller. Now. I don't.
I don't have controller either. I'm still trying to learn how to do it.
I do it by accident.
Yeah.
And I don't know when it's the most scariest freaking thing ever because I'm like.
You seen?
It is.
They call them guides. You have a guide.
No, I've never had a guide. I've seen the entities though. That's the scariest fucking thing.
I've seen entities and
you don't.
Yeah.
Like the last time I did it, I thought I was getting abducted until I told you guys the story, and then you guys were like, "You were astral projecting." I'm like, oh.
I remember it was on a podcast.
It was on a podcast, yeah.
I explained it like some horror movie. Yeah. Like I was professional about it. I remember that podcast.
Well, if you don't know what's happening, it's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Especially when your body vibrated before you go, because you got to vibrate your body. It's like frequency. So like you have to stay still.
Yeah.
And so the process is lay down, don't move, try not to move, close your eyes or put something over your eyes, whatever. And your body will go to sleep. But your brain is still awake.
Your body will disconnect.
Yeah,
like your brain will disconnect your spine.
And you will feel this
which is crazy. Like when you go to sleep at night, your brain is disconnecting your spine.
It doesn't disconnect.
It paralyzes you.
Your body paralyzes you, but it doesn't disconnect your spine.
I get where he's coming from.
Yeah. But it's not like your spine is like.
No, but I'm exaggerating. But But essentially, for layman terms, like your brain.
You separate your consciousness from your body.
It does. I mean, your brain.
You are doing that, but
paralyzes you. It puts you in a paralyzed state.
It does paralyze.
So yes, you go through these bodily vibrations, which I experience. It sounds like trains. These like electrical shocks. They don't hurt. Your body goes this really intense vibration. And it's like buzzing. It's really loud. And if you try
the flash vibrating through a door.
If you try to feel it, it will stop the process. You have to understand that it's not going to harm you. It's okay. That's the process of it. So sometimes people like wake up because they freak out, like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
I went through that process. I did that twice. And after that, you're supposed to imagine your body laying down, pulling up on this visible silver thread, which is connected to your like belly button area.
Yeah, to your royal. Yeah. Is that the royal? No, that's not the crown chakra. That's like the something.
I don't know the chakras, but it's that's what's like the chain that hook you up from your body, and that chain is connected to your spirit form.
So your spirit form essentially is like you disconnect, your body disconnects.
Root chakra.
Yeah, it's like me. Yeah. So your body right there. Imagine me on your spirit form. My cord is hooked up to you.
Yeah,
and your body's there.
I'm some Death Stranding shit.
Yeah, I'm doing the different planes. And you will go to sleep I can never say the word.
Sleep paralysis.
That's part of the process. That will probably freak you out too.
Well, sleep paralysis, that's the disconnecting.
Yeah, and you will go through that. And after that, you drift off to whatever it takes you. For me, I went through space. I saw this guy. I wrote it down after I did it. I saw this spear and she was like purplish. Notice I said she. She had a feminine voice. It was like some spear with like eyes.
Yeah.
Feminine like eyes.
Spirit?
Spear. Like a spear.
Interesting. Oh, like a spear.
Oh, like a spear. I thought you said a spear.
Like the weapon.
Spear.
Yeah.
Like a circle. Like a
spear.
Yeah.
But she's made of like stars and shit.
Interesting.
But she was like purpley hueish and all that stuff. And she had no mouth. She just had eyes.
Interesting.
And she was harmless.
Damn angel. That's an angel.
She told
in
her
the Bible.
name. Her name was Gandora. Swear to God. She told me that.
Silence human.
Silence human. She I remember her voice and everything. She just guided me around. I remember flying into space and I looked down.
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, by the way.
Is it really? Oh, it is. Yu-Gi-Oh's card.
Gardurin, the Dragon of Destruction.
Isn't that Gendora?
Gendora,
yeah.
That's what he just said. Yeah.
Oh, I never knew the correlation.
Yep, there you go.
I looked down and there was like this grids down there. And one of the most things I remember the most is when she took me to this spot, there was this purple, whitish light, which is a bridge. I could stand on this light. And I remember she's behind me, like the horizon of it. I can see her there. And I'm walking. I remember when I look this way, I don't remember looking that way, but I remember looking this way. Imagine like a horizon and portals of different beings going on those portals. They all had their own bridges. And these clearly beings not from Earth. They're from somewhere else. It could be from different universes.
You about like space airport.
Different. Yeah, that's what essentially.
That's so funny.
Or like they could be from
they could LAX in space.
They could be like aliens or different dimensional beings or anything. So I remember going through the portal, which is also the purple light made of the bridge as well. And I remember looking up and there was this big creature guy there. Then I remember someone up there who was like flying, he was smaller, but he was like guiding us which way to go. And after that, I snapped back.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What was the snapback like? Were you like instantly, or did you like zoom out?
No, I just woke up, but I also realized I can't remember. I wrote it down, but I can't remember specific arm, but it was numb. And I woke up.
Interesting.
And crazy thing is, I did this. It was in the morning, so to do astral projection like really well, you have to sleep, then wake up. And that moment in time, your body's in this weird like state, REM state, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's easy to access the astral plane doing that thing, which I did. So I did it around like 8 o'clock, and I remember waking up. Like time moves fast there.
Yeah.
Or I guess time in the real world moves faster, while there it seems slower. I guess.
Yeah. It's like you experience time and like what feels like a normal rate in there, but like an hour maybe. An hour did go.
It was like 9:21 when I woke up. I'm like, what the fuck? And when I woke up, it wasn't like a sleep woke up. Like I just came back.
It's crazy.
Like you wasn't fatigued or tired.
No, only thing I experienced was like a numbness in my head. That's it.
Now, I do want to know that like astral projection is not the same as lucid dreaming.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's like, but any confusion out there that like lucid dreaming is taking control of your dream,
which I didn't control my.
I've done that a lot.
I've done it before too.
Yeah.
Astral projection is literally you get out of your body and you can turn around and look down at yourself.
So I hate saying that story because it makes me sound like a fucking weirdo.
You sound insane when every
I know.
I
get genuinely embarrassed telling that story, but that was my experience with.
But astral projection has been happening for.
It's an old ancient.
It's an ancient form. Yeah, I mean, people can do it.
But the thing is, with back then, it's like they don't understand what a dream was, or whatever. We have science packed it up.
Yeah.
But there are still people who experience those things.
I've heard stories like astral projection where you can affect like real world things. Like you can open up a door and someone can actually see a door get open.
I don't know all about that.
That is
that seems.
But that's a pretty common thing. It's like you can affect real world things. So if you don't want to go up and you just want to,
hold on. How do you know it's a common thing?
Because I've heard a lot of stories about it.
Okay.
Like that's like a common thing. It's like people. Because there are people who are trained in astral projection can affect like real world things.
Yeah, there's like schools for this, like just.
But we've never been able to like prove beyond a reasonable doubt that like people are affecting these physical properties in our universe.
Until we figure out all this shit, like the other dimensions.
So that's what the thing is. Like bullshit aside, like jokes aside, like be serious. Like theoretically, these things could exist. Considering the fact that like the 9th dimension says comparable to all possible universes with different laws of physics creations.
Yeah.
10th dimension, anything is possible.
Yeah.
So we could be, I don't know the correlation of how, but those from dreams to actual projection could be just glimpses of those things. I don't know how we can have some connection towards that. I don't know, but it fits the description to me personally.
It's kind of like ghosts. Like you think ghosts are like just trapped into that
one of these dimensions.
Like that would be if you wanted to say like that's purgatory. Or like you know how like people say like when they had those like when they die for like people who have died for like 5 minutes and then they come back, that they said they've like been into space and they've seen like, you know, what they thought they saw heaven or stuff like that. They could be like, there's what we consider a soul. Like that's just the name that we give, or like the energy in our body. Maybe I mean, like astral projecting is what it seems like to me is you're able to release your soul for that time being and then come back, as long as you have that string, right?
Yeah,
as long as you're still.
String.
But maybe that comes disconnected when you die or something like that, or it just comes, you know, that cord becomes weak when you get old.
And they also say like when you do those, there are beings in that world that feed off negativity too. Like I had a coworker. He said he had a friend who did astral projection as well, and he came back differently. Like he's not the same anymore.
Interesting.
Well, I've seen entities,
which I told him like not to be like an asshole, but he probably had like a weak will, and then whatever just consumed him or whatever, fucked him up. He wasn't strong enough, I guess. I don't know.
Built different.
Like you know, like I compare it to like a lion in a jungle. Like a lion would go in the jungle. I mean, not jungle, but like a lion, the desert, whatever the fuck they're at.
Jungle. You were right.
Yeah, that's tigers. Tigers are jungles. That's how I got it wrong.
Lions they're called the king of the jungle.
It's wrong though.
Lions are in the jungle.
They're in plains. They're like plains. There's like it's like a deserty, but it has like trees and plants and shit.
But whatever. Yeah. Like so, a lion would eat anything that accesses this area. It will eat you. It's his natural thing. These demons or dark spirits, whatever, that's what they're doing too.
That's called entities.
Yeah, entities. They're doing that too.
You've never seen one, right? You've never had a random.
You're right. Yeah. They don't live in the fucking jungle.
Yeah.
They live in savannas.
In fact, tigers are
lions do not live in the jungle. Well, I mean, like Africa doesn't really have
jungles are more like wetlands.
Yeah.
Steve. So like I assume like
they're just like predators in those entities, right?
Yeah, they're not generally. If a lion eats you, the lion's not a bad guy. It is not wrong.
It's just eating. Yeah.
It's just doing what it does.
Yeah,
that's how I assume what these entities are. They do whatever they need to do to consume.
Interesting.
I don't know.
That's my theory on it or whatever.
The experience I've had with the Hat Man was like. I could feel that it wanted something insidious to do with me. Like it was like, I remember like seeing it, and I just remember like, don't go near that thing. Like that thing has.
You just knew instinctively.
It was like just like this thing was giving off a bad energy. Like it just looked evil.
It had
like
the JoJo menacing.
Yeah, exactly. Like it had like it was just like I just saw it. I saw it down at the end of this hill, and I was like, do not go near that thing because it just looked like it. It looked like it wanted to do something.
Did you say that, or it could be your conscience or your guide telling you that you didn't ever notice?
No, because the Hat Man is an entity that I didn't realize that was an evil thing that people see when they have sleep paralysis. People have like
no. He's saying that like it was like. Did you think that it was unsafe, or was that like your guide telling you that it was?
I've never seen a guide. I've never had any. I've never had a guide or any because I don't. I'm not actively. I've never actively. Astro projected on my own will and my own volition that I don't realize that I was even doing it. And then I had these weird experiences where I'm like, why am I? Because in a dream, like, you know, you do like something and then it's like there's other weird stuff. But like in these certain particular dreams that I have very clear memories of because they were so bizarre, is this all I was doing is just walking outside in the moonlight.
Why did you Google Gendora for? That's not a real thing in this world.
I wanted to see what it was.
You can't Google that.
I wanted to see if there was a god or something that was named Gendora, like back in the day.
I can't see that. I just thought about that.
But wait. But that's a good. But I mean, that's a good thing though.
Only I saw that. Like I'm assuming.
But other people could have that same guide.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
But because of the Hat Man is actually a common thing though, that I've seen.
My logic was that like, well, he saw someone named Gendora. If some other fucking dude from like,
which I have, I went on many places to see.
Yeah, so like if some other fucking dude reported seeing an entity called Gendora, I'd just be like, all right, well,
I've done research.
We got to let him cook a little bit. Yeah. But that was the idea.
Yeah, I just thought, what the fuck would you Google that? This thing don't exist in this world, whatever.
Anyway, sorry.
But like, yeah, like the Hat Man is like another thing of like, no, people have also seen the Hat Man, which that scared the shit out of me. And I said this last week too, is like, just when I was like, just randomly got to that idea, because I remember seeing this dream and I was like, man, that was a crazy nightmare. And I don't know why I remember that nightmare. And then it came, and then I was like, I just got curious. I'm like, I wonder if anyone else has ever seen this thing. Just typed in the Hat Man. That was the fucking name for it. And then other people had sketches of it. People have said this is the sleep paralysis thing. This is like an entity. And then I realized that that wasn't a dream and it wasn't a nightmare. That was me astral projecting. And that was like, because then it just started clicking where I'm like, it didn't feel like a dream at all. Like it felt like I was just
there.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, how did I even get outside?
That's sometimes that's why it feel a dream and astral projection feel completely different. Yeah. You know when you dream. Astral projection feel like, which you wouldn't be aware of because you didn't know you did it, but you actually feel like you're going to somewhere.
Yeah. It's like you're literally like floating, but like in this reality.
Yeah. I've never astral projected.
So like when dreams are like, to make it clarify, dreams feel different when you wake up from a dream astral projection. They're completely different experiences. You actually feel like you're trying to go somewhere doing the astral projection. Yeah. Dream is just drifting off and it takes you whatever. I didn't do that, and a lot of people don't do that. And like when you wake up from a dream, you're just like, oh, I had a dream. Astral projection is like, oh, I just came back from the store. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. I believe you. Dude, I have been, listen, something that you do not fucking understand is that I am sitting here as the skeptic. I have been hearing this shit. I say shit non-derogatorily, but I've been hearing this shit all of my fucking life. All of my life since I was but a wee lad. I've been hearing about fucking astral projection and Anunnakis and higher dimensional beings and fucking aliens being higher dimensional beings.
Can you please bring on your dad, please?
It's like, it'd be a fun show for you guys.
Please bring your dad on, dude.
I have been listening this shit all of my fucking life. I understand every part of it fucking intimately.
Yeah, let's bring him on. I want to dive deep into his head.
He just wrote a book called The Footprint of the Atoms.
Wrote a book.
He did. My dad wrote a fucking book.
Link that down. Link that down in the book.
Jamie, put it up.
Let me find the description of the book real quick, because he talks about this shit about things in the atom, the footprints of the atom, book by Alfredo Archilla. This book presents a new paradigm for the origin of life on Earth by introducing the atomic definition of life and comparing it to the traditional organic meaning of life. It searches for the carbon-based origin of life, makes a detailed logical evaluation of intelligent design hypothesis, and explains why it is a valid scientific hypothesis that needs an improved argument. So my dad is saying that like the only...
It just came out.
Yeah, he published it like not too long ago. Give it a book. Give it a buy. It's like $10 on Kindle.
Is that on Audible?
Not on Audible, but we could fucking make that happen. Anyways, the idea is that he's saying that like the only... Like DNA has instructions in it for organic life, and the only other thing that has been able to make information and create instructional information has been humans when we program computers. So it is a valid scientific...
Oh, this is an actual theory.
Yeah. It's called intelligent design theory, but a lot of people take that to be like a religious meaning. But what my dad is somehow theorizing it is that it is not an inherently impossible definition of the origin of life, because if information can only be created by intelligent beings, because it happening randomly is so impossibly difficult to happen, then the idea that something designed life in the same way that we design computers is completely possible.
Have you ever? I don't want to go side topic. No, I won't say. I don't want to go side topic there. But
well, it's like, what is the origin of us? If DNA has a digital footprint in the sense of like this has evidence of tampering, where this couldn't occur naturally.
Yeah. Talking about
that's essentially
simulation theory.
No.
Not a simulation theory, but it's saying that like if we like the only thing in the natural universe that we know of right now that can create information in the way of like orders to like create something else. So like we can input information into a computer to do a set of instructions. We are the only organic being that can do that. So if information, because information doesn't just happen randomly. Yeah. So the fact that DNA acts like code and like programming and gives your body a set of instructions to like print out different organs or behave differently, it stands to reason that DNA is a form of organic computing that was designed by somebody else.
Yeah.
And that we were created intelligently by a designer who decided to make the information for DNA and then let the printer run, essentially.
Isn't the design of the universe itself?
That's an interesting thing. It's like the valid theory is that intelligent design is not outright impossible, right? But like a lot of people would view that through a religious lens. But what part of what my dad is presenting is that it is a scientific theorem that could be as viable as like random creation.
So string theory can lead into that. So if string theory was real, the quarks, it goes into the string to vibrate different
essentially musical notes,
frequencies. Yeah.
So from what I'm understanding is, since those musical notes are different, those outcomes are different too. So
it would be like the DNA of different universes, essentially. Yeah. Where if these musical notes are making, if you want to get, if we were able to look further in, and there are musical notes playing essentially strings, and they're like crossing, and they're like it's evidence of different. There is other universes being created from that.
Does he know what string theory is? Because that sounds like it can lead into that.
I'm sure he does.
Essentially, what this is just saying that the origin of life is designed by something. We're not naturally created from just like
random molecules.
Darwinism is like we were fucking like a little sea urchin, and then we get turned into like an alligator.
Well, actually, that's the misconception about the theory that he's trying to say. He's not necessarily saying that evolution didn't happen or evolution is not a part of the human
but you're
creation,
saying that like
the origin was an intelligent being being like, here's DNA, here's the way that this works, here's how it's arranged, here's a set of instructions for life, and then like letting that replicate over the course of like natural.
So it sounds like God, but not God.
It's like a sign. It's essentially arguing that like while the theory of a Big Bang randomly generating life through like just random particles hitting each other. It's saying that like it is as valid to think that intelligent design theory could be an origin of creation, because he's not necessarily saying that evolution didn't happen or that a god did it, but he's arguing that it is possible that based on the nature of information and how we know information works, and that it has to be created in order for it to exist, that it is probable and has a possibility that we were designed intelligently by a higher entity.
You sound like he got a lot of theories combined into one. It sounds like simulation theory to me.
My dad has done a lot of research. Yeah. He's watched Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michio Kaku. He's read the books. He's like a smart dude. And he was like pondering.
No, I'm not saying he's crazy.
No.
It's theoretical. It's all this is. These are literally just like we're still doing the data. Yeah. Generally, we didn't know the Big Bang was actually like a thing until we actually had more and more data to even prove it with the satellite. There was a satellite that got launched up in 2003 was able to actually collect enough data to actually be like,
that's a Hubble scope.
No, not the Hubble scope, but the it was called the Wave or something like that. It was some kind of satellite back in 2003. Yeah. And then that's when we were able to be like, oh no, the heat is actually like, this.
It was like a pinpoint.
Because the heat is the thing that moves particles around. And it's the reason why they started hitting each other.
But the thing is, the question is, like, you can't fathom it, no matter how hard you try.
It's like that.
Time and space didn't exist prior to that event.
Yeah.
So that makes you like, what in the fuck
was happening
prior? Yeah. So there's like, we were talking about text. I think you texted me privately, whatever.
Yeah.
How it could be birth of two universes collision. Mm-hmm. Which calls
friction. Well, that's what they think, and that's what they think. What the Big Bang was technically just two, and this is what we were trying to kind of going over when we were texting was this like, what was it? What was like just one universe collapses on the inside of itself and then smacks into the one that's on the bottom, or like was it just they just like because essentially what?
Or was it two universes occupying the same spot in time and space and then like collapsing?
Well, the way this essentially has it work is like imagine like a bunch of like a string like this, right? And it's all different dimensions and universes like in the string, and then wrapped around that is also more universes,
right?
And essentially what I picked up from like I'm not finished with the book yet, but what happened is like maybe just like two of them just two particles from it just bumped, destroying those two things and then just igniting into one or something like that.
That's what when we described that. That's give me that shit. That probably was the reason what cosmic inflation is, the energy is still going outwards.
So that's where the heat death of the universe thing comes in.
So things are getting further.
Microwave heat, I think, is what it's.
I don't know
the microwave radiation.
Yeah. I don't know anything further than.
So the universe is still expanding. Things are getting further apart. And we also speak the Big Bang theory. Why we thought it was like 13.6 or whatever, 13.2 whatever.
Yeah, 13.6.
It's actually like 26 point something.
Yeah.
Because I remember learning at the time, like last year or something, we found this star called the Methuselah star. I can't pronounce it. And it was older than the universe. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then they were like, because this is in the book too. It's like they found that they found that star, and they're like, well, if this is older than the universe,
everything.
Then it can't.
It can't physically exist outside of the universe.
Yeah, so they doubled the universe's time. And it can still be like, it leads into like, this shit leads into conversation like, maybe the universe could be just been infinite. Because we got the time wrong, we had to double it.
Well, that's a really interesting thing that I found about the heat death of the universe, because there's a theory that the heat death of the universe is cyclical. So like the universe expands up to a point where it can no longer expand, and then it begins contracting again.
And when it retracts backward, we just die.
Yeah. When it contracts backwards, it eventually compresses itself to such a point that it is like a supermassive black hole comprised of all the matter in the universe. And then when that reaches critical mass,
pressure,
it expands again.
Yeah,
and like, that's a big bang.
I don't like this one. I don't believe it. But we in a black hole. You heard about that one?
No, I haven't heard about that one.
Well, wormhole is like, that's like how you would time travel, right?
Not time travel, space travel.
Travel.
The wormhole is the compression of space.
Yeah.
But by virtue, it's such a gravitational force that it's compressing space and time.
Well, in a way, yeah. So like,
but you would not survive a black hole.
Spaghettification and all that shit. But I wish we could. That would be a way that we could travel things further. But it would be like, time is subjective though, because it depends on what that.
Well, isn't wormholes? Which one is folding? Yeah, wormholes is like where it's like imagine like everything's a flat plane, like time and space, and then it folds upon each other. The wormhole is to be able to go through, not through the past, but through forward in time.
Yeah, so we're skipping over space.
And it's probably a massive amount of time, that I guess.
Well, yeah, by virtue of like going through a wormhole, the way that I understand black holes to work is that gravity is so compressed that if you were able to go through it, you would end up in an entirely different place of space and time.
Yeah, you wouldn't know specifically where it would go.
Yeah. You wouldn't know where it would go, but you would move through space and time because time is affected by gravity. So
people think of black holes, you think of a circle in a gravity.
Yeah, no, it's like a three-dimensional sphere that swallows all light around it.
We can't see them.
The picture of the black hole that we got recently blew my fucking mind. Yeah. It gave me anxiety to look at it.
We never had a picture prior, but here's a crazier thing. Albert Einstein predicted these things with math.
Yeah. Because he could see the way that the math would work.
That is fucking badass.
That's bananas. Yeah.
But
he was built different.
It was 2 years ago we finally saw it. Or something.
Not too long ago, and it was a pretty shite picture.
Yeah, you can see like
it was just a fucking.
I don't think they got no like 8K out there, dude.
The light around it and all that shit.
So that's all light and heat and energy of like the star that it used to be, slowly circling and falling into the black hole.
And you what like and those a movie. Interstellar does it perfectly. It explains black hole perfectly. It does it like realistically.
Yeah. He got scientific consultants.
He brought all those guys on and like work on
it. That shit gave me anxiety. The fact that we can see a hole in space and time, just like
they're the scariest things in the universe. So they like collapse suns.
Yeah. Well, they're
gravity. It's pushing so hard, like with the fist, and it's like it compresses itself.
Yeah. It's like gravity has
a glitch.
Existed.
What do you think it sounds like?
It makes no sound.
No, I imagine
there's no. You can hear the gases moving around the black hole, but the black hole does not make a sound.
No, it's definitely they're playing like old church music. There's like that's like a lot of like.
There's sounds of
like Halo 3 music. Like that's what's playing around that fucking black hole.
We have frequencies of our world, like Earth and other planets too.
Yeah, we know what space sounds like. Apparently, space tastes like strawberries.
Burnt steak.
Burnt steak and strawberries. Yeah. Because of the chemical components that are like naturally occurring throughout space are similar flavor compounds to strawberries and steak.
And to further on with that question, I also said, parking briefly go to this, so the UFO sightings could be just. So the UFO things aren't aliens; they're time travelers.
I've heard this theory a lot. Like they're not extraterrestrial; they are interdimensional.
Interdimensional beings.
I like that idea. I think that makes sense. For me, it's way more likely that. Actually, I don't know if it's way more likely.
Both are likely.
Both are likely, but the idea that like there's so much mystery around the technology that it feels unconstrained by the laws of physics.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that they're interdimensional beings. I think that's much more interesting.
And they still crash.
Yeah, they still crash.
Yeah, they're still flawed, but it's like it takes a lot of power to come over here with a spaceship. But the way to describe them is like it is alien-like, but
they look like paper mache.
They look like cubes with a spear around them. They could be just what? How's it funny?
Because
we're talking about the dumb little alien fraud that we saw in Mexico.
All right, the Mexican like frog.
I'm glad everyone just admitted that's this bullshit story.
Well, I mean, look at it.
Yeah. First of all, fucking look at them, and then second of all,
alien. This art project as
alien.
Here's
the thing about it. It looks like how we always thought an alien looks like.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
It's
fucking it looked like
stupid.
E.T.
Someone trying to be creative in the comments. I saw like, oh, maybe that's the thing that inspired us to.
No, people are coping.
They started from a movie.
They started from a movie. Yeah. The guy that made it's a llama skull, put backwards, cut off at the nose, with just a bunch of random fucking bones put together.
I heard he took children bones and all that shit. The guy who did this is
Jamie something. He's a known fraudster, like fake journalist. And you ready for this shit? The little bodies that he showed as like being the ones that the government is seeing now showed up in another fraud in 2021. They're the exact same alien bodies.
I heard
doing through the exact same thing. It is the exact same video.
Yeah, I saw a video where someone made like a cake video where is it like they like slice it in half and it's cake like this is what they're exactly made of.
Also heard, I don't know how true this is. I don't know, but Mexico doesn't have a government.
He just said that Mexico doesn't have a government.
Everyone was saying this.
No, Mexico has a government.
Yeah, what do you?
Everyone in the comments are saying this.
No,
everyone disagreed. Everyone in America disagreed. Like, they don't have a government.
Mexico doesn't have a government. No, Mexico has a fucking government.
Everyone's like,
now if it's a good government, that's questionable.
The Mexican government works exactly the same as the U.S. government.
Yeah, it was a lot of likes. I'm like, okay.
They used to be called the United States of
I don't fucking know. I don't live in Mexico.
They were called the United Mexican States. So like,
every country has a government.
I don't know.
That's a part of a country.
Not all of them.
They all have governments.
They all have governments. Sometimes it's just a matter of like, Antarctica's governed by the U.S. What are you talking about?
Antarctica?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
We can't go over there.
What do you mean we can't go over there? We're there all the time.
How do you think we got the thing?
We only go over there for a brief point. We can't go past that. That's a conspiracy theory. But that's where we can't go over there.
We have stations. People live there.
People, like 1,000 people. That's it. But beyond that, we can't go.
Well, there's like little stations out there.
Yeah, like in the coast of it.
But are you talking about the center of it?
But we can't go further back.
What are you talking about?
The Antarctica, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain spot you can go, which where people are stationed at shipments. Okay. And all shit. After that, you can't.
It's too cold?
No, you're just not allowed.
What is it? Oh, you mean it's restricted?
Yeah, it's restricted.
Well, they hiding.
Yeah.
What are you hiding?
That's a known conspiracy.
The protocol prohibits commercial mining and protects vulnerable areas, animals, and plants. The Antarctic Treaty does not prevent tourists, military personnel, or scientific researchers from being present in Antarctica. But they do require an appropriate permit from a treaty party. I don't think it's that why no one is allowed to explore the Atlantic. Hold on, I gotta fucking break the shit down in my own time because that sounds crazy.
You didn't know that?
Why no one is allowed to explore the Antarctic?
This does not look like the most reputable website.
What is a website?
Huh? What do you mean? What is a website?
Government is lying to us.com.
This is like a thing though. This is a known thing.
It's called thearchaeologist.org. I'm sure that there's a protection. But the world's coldest continent is also one of the most mysterious places on Earth. It's as unique as the secretive. And
I
like
can see
most
Alex
of the world,
Jones out there. What are they hiding out there? He's got like goggles.
Yeah,
you
goggles. Know that? Because you said that, and my reation is like, shut the fuck up. That's not true. Immediately, that's not true.
Yeah,
that's like my gut reaction.
And what you see now?
You can't go to Antarctica.
It's just like the general phrasing of it is like, no, you can't go. It was like, no, we can definitely go.
Well, that's what you think.
I think that the reason I had that reaction is the flash of rage at being told that I can't do something.
Yeah, that's what conspiracy.
We can't go to the sun.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get mad about that? Like,
but Antarctica is like I can conceivably go to Antarctica.
They say like
really hot, really cold, Brian.
They say like Nazis over there and all that shit. no, like World War II planes did go over there and all that shit. Yeah. Like, but that's what the conspiracy theory still lies to. That's
if you could, good luck overcoming the frostbite-inducing temperature of nearly minus 130 degrees Fahrenheit. But where these heavy restrictions come from, and also when American Navy officer Admiral Byrd put forth plans for a special treaty, one would declare that Antarctica should remain a completely demilitarized zone and devoid of ownership by any one nation. All right.
It wasn't. Always, it wasn't always ice either. It was over here.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah. What do you mean it wasn't always ice?
No, Antarctica wasn't always ice. It was like a forest like plain at first.
Oh yeah, like
the shit was forming.
It recently became ice.
Yeah, like 1995 is like a forest.
Like Earth time. No, like Earth time, like millions of billions of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, well, that makes sense. Like it makes sense if like the Earth moved and like made it to the polar poles.
I know that, but I'm saying overall that we're not. No one thinks about it.
You know what's crazy is like we haven't been to the bottom of the sea. Like we haven't seen like our entire ocean. We don't know what's in Antarctica.
Yeah, that's where Bigfoot hangs out.
Yeah, and we like we're trying to figure out like 10th dimensions, man. Like get to work on why have we not discovered our sea?
Because it fucking
pressure.
It is so. It's literally.
Bro, someone figure this shit out.
Pressure.
Suck it out. Someone put a big tube down there and just release it.
Thor has not even drunk the fucking ocean. So
who?
Thor.
Oh, Thor. Yeah. No, it blows. The craziest thing that I heard in this episode is that we can't fucking go to Antarctica.
Yeah.
We were talking about 10 dimensions. That genuinely pissed me off. Why? I don't know why. That's a thing. It infuriates me that's a thing.
We don't know why, but we can go there for us, like what you said. I know that. It's a brief spot. We can go there. After that, nope.
Yeah, I guess it's just whatever.
Are you talking about restricted?
We're not allowed. That's what it means.
Who's not allowed?
People.
What people?
Who's not allowing this?
Us.
What do you mean us?
Citizens everywhere.
Okay. We're getting somewhere. So the government is going to.
I don't know about.
Who's going to fucking arrest me? Who's fucking out? I'm going to get pulled over.
No, that pulled to get shot down.
I'm going to walk.
From some fucking Air Force going to shoot you down.
Yeah, maybe. They might got some
uncharted territory, so they're going to shoot you down.
I feel like a plane would freeze.
That was common knowledge.
No, it wasn't.
All right, here's a plan. We ODST drop in.
Yeah.
They'll never see it coming from space.
I like how you fucking tried to think I was crazy about that shit, too.
Yeah.
But, like, who's going to pull me over? Someone's going to, like, I'm going to have to be in my little snowmobile.
They're going to snipe her in a tower or something.
Mark Wahlberg going to snipe you.
They're going to, like a fucking state trooper out there is going to get me.
That blows my fucking mind.
Yeah, it's about, like, a couple of thousand people over there right now.
Yeah.
Shipments.
You've seen the TikToks?
But Antarctica is there's there might be a demilitarized zone that no people can go to according to this fucking treaty. But Antarctica is an American thing.
No, we don't own Antarctica.
We don't own it. It's
no one owns it, right?
It's one of our states, I think, right?
That's Alaska.
States?
That's Alaska, Brian. You're thinking about Alaska.
That makes sense.
That's what you thought we were talking about the entire time?
No. I was just...
That's what he thought. Yes,
no, that's not what I thought. That's not what I thought.
That's why you got so mad about it. That's what
I gotta fucking hide right now.
That's what you thought about. No, Antarctica we can't.
But Antarctica's just a big block of bloody ice.
I know, but it's just a comment on why can't we go over there?
It's a continent.
Yeah, it's a continent.
How big is Antarctica?
It's huge.
It's pretty big.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah.
How big is Antarctica?
Massive.
No one owns that, right?
I think
apparently no one owns it.
It's like no one owning the moon. It's
5.2. What the fuck? 5.7 million square miles.
Dude, we could build a cabin out there.
It is the 5th largest continent. Yeah, I guess we could.
That's fucking free real estate for real, dude.
Build a studio out there.
all right. So it wouldn't be the U.S. It'd be the UN not allowing you to go out there.
Logically.
Yeah, probably.
I guess for safety reasons would be the...
There is no single country that owns Antarctica. Instead, it is governed by a group of nations in a unique international partnership, the Antarctic Treaty. Signed, and that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Bro, that's fucking free real estate. Guys, next week we'll be doing this podcast live from Antarctica.
Could be oil down there. I don't know.
It could be anything.
Did you guys hear that? You hear the helicopters?
That's where the aliens are.
Yeah.
Wow, sorry to derail that shit.
Well, that's literally the thing. The thing is based in Antarctica. That's what I made that joke.
Yeah.
Was it real?
Well, Bob Lazar
Oh my god!
You know, say what you will about Bob Lazar, but they said
he's the guy who went on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's the guy that they found him to work on some alien tech in Area 51.
Wait, you didn't know about Bob Lazar before?
No.
Bob Lazar has always been like.
Yeah, he's a well-known figure.
Like way before he went on the podcast.
That's why I knew him from the podcast.
That was the first time I've seen him in years talk about it. But Bob Lazar was essentially he worked at Area 51.
Yeah,
and he was the one who exposed that. He went on news and he exposed that that they were working on crafts. But the way he explains it, it makes sense. Where he was like, I didn't see aliens or anything like that. I worked on
tech from the
He was trying to reverse engineer the gravity, but they have it where they was broke up into so many different parts, compartmentalizing shit. Where he was like,
that nobody could put it together.
He claims
it's like what they did with the atom bomb in World War II, where like they try to break it down over so many departments. And, like, nobody could have the whole picture.
So no one could. Yeah, but like he was like, I didn't know what the fuck I was even like. He saw a ship and he saw that they slapped a big like U.S. flag on it, and immediately the first thing he thought was like, oh, these things are ours. Like people are so stupid thinking that like UFOs are real and it's just our ships. And then he like went onto the ship and he was like, this is not, what the fuck is this?
Right.
What's that?
And it just like from his standpoint, it was just convincing. And say what you will if you want to believe him or not. But that's one of the things he did say was like they had I think 8 crash ships and one of them was found in Antarctica.
Interesting.
Why they call him conspiracy theorist for?
Because it's just a theory that cannot be proven and goes against the government.
Yeah,
that's really the easiest way.
That don't seem fair for him though. Conspiracy theory is more like me making up saying like Antarctica is an alien planet, alien world. That's conspiracy theory.
They're different
levels. The situation though, right?
There's different. There's different because they call it a theory because they can't prove it, so it's a theory. And they call it a conspiracy because it is a conspiracy against a unifying nation or government.
Under layman terms, they would be like they would consider what he was.
Wasn't he in the phone books? What or some shit? What's that story?
They erased his records from everything, but they said that he didn't work at speaking of the atom bomb. What is it?
Oppenheimer?
Where they did Oppenheimer. There's a lab there now.
Yeah.
He worked at that lab.
Okay.
Los Alamos lab.
Yeah.
They said that he never worked there. And then if you go in there and go into the registry, he did work there. But it also like he never went to a certain college or anything like that. Like they erased all his records to discredit him. But it's proven that he did work there and did all this shit. And then he was even in the paper for building, like he took his Honda Civic or he
customized this.
He put a fucking jet engine
in. Yeah. I remember this.
He was like, Lazar claims to be a physicist and to have worked in this capacity during his tenure at the Los Alamos Physics Labs. This assertion was echoed by a local journalist, who interviewed Lazar about his interest in jet-powered cars in 1982. Some media outlets have since dubbed him a physicist. Inquiry into Lazar's position in the facility, however, revealed that his role to have been a technician or contractor firm and that he worked neither as a physicist or for Los Alamos.
Were you reading this up?
Yeah, he worked in propulsion. Yeah. That's what he was trying to figure out.
As such, the laboratory has no records on Lazar, whom Prothero states was in short rather a minor player. The Smithsonian and various mainstream news outlets have stated that his physicist designation is self-proclaimed. So he's kind of looked at as a quack.
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion on him.
My opinion came from I think it's from this guy where he.
Yeah. Lazar has claimed that the propulsion of the study vehicle ran an antimatter reactor.
No, that's why I knew he was bullshit. He said as of September 2019, no extra solar planets have been found in a Zeta something system. This tech came from this system with 2 stars.
Gotcha.
Like, how the fuck would you know that?
This universe or another universe?
Stop it.
That's it. But that's the thing, though. That's what I was like.
No, that's in our universe.
Yeah, but
that tech didn't come all the way over here.
Well, that's what someone says. Like, well, they had that thing where they were like, what is it called? What was the thing from
Fermi paradox?
No, there was a. Do you guys remember this old story? It was about a It's in Mass Effect. It's
Andromeda.
No, it's like this like giant rotating star.
Dyson sphere.
A Dyson sphere. They thought they saw a Dyson sphere once.
We
no. Bro.
Do you know what a Dyson sphere is, Bryan?
No.
It's a thing it can control.
I'm about to Google it.
It can gain energy from a sun.
Oh, cool.
So we saw like real shit. We saw.
Oh yeah. That was
back in
a
like
movie recently.
It was like back in 2017. They thought
I didn't know about this.
People that's how I knew about it. Like people they're like, I think
we detected something.
We detected something, and we thought it was a Dyson sphere up in space, and then it ended up not being it.
What was it again? I can't remember.
I have no idea. This is a good
2019, 18.
This is like 2017. This is a long time ago. 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
But people are freaking out because of like, is that a Dyson sphere? And if there was a Dyson sphere, that means that there was
life.
Oh, an intelligent life.
Where was the Dyson sphere?
It was near near a sun that we had spotted.
We detected something in it. Didn't block it.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was blocking the sun.
Yeah.
And we were like, it looks like maybe a Dyson sphere.
Yeah. So those things are like a hypothetical machine civilizations can make to gain access to the sun's energy.
Yeah. On 14th of October 2015, Planet Hunter citizen scientists discovered unusual light fluctuations on the star KIC 8462852, raising press speculation that a Dyson sphere may have been this. That's a big jump. That's a big jump in logic there.
Well,
however, subsequent analysis showed that the results were consistent with the presence of dust.
It's something we eventually could make. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Civilization could be out there, maybe more intelligent and further than us, and probably made it.
Yeah. Well, the theory of it is really interesting, and it makes sense. But
it's like a big ass solar panel. That's all.
Yeah, that's really all that it is. It's just a matter of sustaining the huge temperatures, like material that can work in those temperatures.
And you think about how massive a sun is. That's a lot of fucking metal. That's hundreds of years of technology.
That's a lot.
So do you guys think like aliens are from? That's more plausible to me. Is that aliens are from just another universe?
I would say interdimensional beings.
Well, Fermi paradox. I don't know the equation specifically, but it's an equation that can predict.
Oh, it's LM dash. To the fourth power.
Get the fuck out of here.
I shit you not. The fucking quantum mechanics book, it's constantly telling me the equations like that.
You mentioned Fermi paradox?
I had not. Oh, it did. It does mention. I don't remember what the equation was.
So this equation of life through each planet or whatever.
The particle is essentially, if life is so easy, someone from somewhere would have been calling right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's the heart. Earth, the universe is so fucking vast.
Oh, not the Fermi paradox, but.
The universe is so vast that
there's bound to be something.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know.
I learned this years ago.
Yeah, but like, it's more plausible. It would just be from another dimension.
Is this the equation? N equals R times F sub P times N sub E. All that shit.
And
let me go down.
Yeah. It's like the Drake equation.
N equals R to the second power plus FP plus NE. Yeah. The rate. So it's the rate of formation of stars, galaxy, the fraction of those stars, planetary systems, the number of planets per solar system.
Smart dude like that. I'm so glad that
I wasn't smart. Just stuff you know.
It's literally
the people that figure this shit out.
That's the thing I was going to get into.
No, this is a Drake equation.
When you break it down, it's a question. Asked a lot to a lot of physicists. And stuff. Like, you talked about this in our depth episode. Like, everything is just particles, molecules, and whatever like string there could be like one of the few things. How this thing vibrates or rotates, it decides everything going forward after that.
Yeah,
outcomes. So like nothing generally really. What I won't go that far because we already discussed this before. Like, but. Nothing doesn't really matter. Just these things exist everywhere, reacting a certain way, chemically reacting a different way.
The Albert Camus philosophy of like nihilism, like not
you mentioned it last time. Yeah,
not nihilism is like we know it, but the philosophical definition of nihilism makes the most sense, which is like life has no inherent meaning. You have to make your own meaning for it to like matter. Essentially,
I don't know, man. I mean, like if any of this turns out to be true, we're looking into the face of God. If any, I mean, like if you like just take cool? Like
it's a trailer cut.
No, it's literally I just made that up on the spot.
When we make the documentary that's inspired by this episode,
that
is like the sound clip that plays over a shot of like the Earth floating very gently inside the space, and then it just like smash cuts to like 6 different interpretations of a galaxy.
The one I don't like is though it's boring. The universe is just infinite.
Yeah.
So since it's infinite, I'm not sure you heard this or you mentioned this. There's a possibility if the universe is infinite. There's a possibility the chemical outcome would be so perfect it could be like you out there again.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
Yeah, that's what.
That's more freaky to me than the multiverse.
There's like an Earth 2.
Literally, because
like Earth 1,
the situation
Earth A.
has been so spot on.
Well, yeah, because all the mathematical combinations are happening.
So there could be 1,000.
It just makes me think like.
I think that for me, I know it's kind of like the boring answer. That to me seems like the most likely answer.
No, it's a little out there.
It's like Occam's razor. Yeah. It's like just the simplest answer is usually the correct one.
Oh, that's a common thing in the book. Is like you have to give the most simplest answer, or your theory is dog shit.
Yeah. If
you can't explain your theory in Occam's razor, then there's no point in doing it because then it's too complex.
Too complex, and you're faffing it up. Okay, so thoughts. What are the last thoughts here?
Nothing. Just the adults.
Counter thought.
Everything.
What if dimensions, these other dimensions, is that is considered what's heaven and hell? These entities, demons. We just have echoes of it in our religions and stuff like that, and that's the only way we can explain. That's what I mean by we're looking into the face of God. We're explaining where this shit comes from. What does go bump in the night? And it's what the fuck is these things? And it's if it is true, if any of this shit, if string theory is ever proven, then everything is essentially you're seeing the threads of reality. And then it opens up this kind of gate where it's when you die, where's that energy going?
Right.
What is happening? Are we being recycled back into this universe?
Yeah, we sure are.
Or are we just returning back into it? And by recycling, it absolutely could mean you turn in back into the earth, and then your soul goes up into stardust. Stardust goes back down, creates new life,
it's
shit like that.
Cycle, but for souls.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so I don't think it's just that's why I don't really have this existential dread or anything like that, where I'm well, if we have stardust, literal stardust, we are part of this this being of this world and whatever. And if this stuff is ever being proven, then I mean, it's just all cycling of the life, and
that's such an oddly spiritual interpretation of that. I didn't expect that from you.
Isn't Jehovah's Witness, their belief is
some magic underwear?
No, they're insane.
No,
that's a Mormon.
But when they die, it's I remember learning from Colin Moore on this podcast, Constellation. His wife, she used to be a Jehovah's Witness, and she said what they believe in is when someone died, they don't mourn about it. You're gonna see them again soon.
Yeah.
So I guess it'd be
well, it's being at a funeral. I mean,
no,
Christian
that.
funeral.
You're gonna see them again,
what, next week?
Yeah, or whatever this day.
You gonna? What you saying? You gonna see them again? What do you mean by that?
Dead. No, you're gonna see them alive again.
I don't fucking know.
But is heaven, hell, all this stuff? Is that just other dimensions?
So the thing that you're saying is kind of we created the concepts of heaven and hell to explain things from other dimensions linking into this dimension.
Essentially, it's what we think is made up is no, this is how we had to explain
something.
Maybe and then here comes this concept of
no, I think that
the Anunnaki and all that shit or not the Anunnaki, but how there's a theory on what people saw back in the past was angels is actually just extraterrestrials, and they just couldn't fathom. That's why angels are circular spears and they have eyes. Yeah. Or they would see people riding chariots of flame riding across, and that could just be, something flying.
I think I saw a theoretical angel, or
that's what I said that
that's why I googled it.
I said you saw an angel.
It looks like an angel.
Yeah, that's the angel in biblical time. And it's just there's just little threads like that and everything like that, and you just think that I don't know. It's don't be afraid.
Yeah, I just want to travel.
It wasn't that scary. I would promise you that.
No, but the fucking entities was definitely.
I just want to make it to the timeline or the universe where we have Yu-Gi-Oh holograms. That's the only thing.
There's a universe out there that has
that universe, and I'm pissed that it's not.
Or hear me out, Konami.
Yeah, you can just fucking
money.
Make it.
You can fucking. I love how this is just a running theme for this has been for years.
Well, that's Dark Sides of Dimensions plot.
Konami, you could print money. Print money if you just made Yu-Gi-Oh VR. Do it. Just do it. I don't know why. What are you waiting for?
I don't understand that. The tech is right
why
there.
Are we?
Yeah, it's
This comes out every like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Or
because I'm pissed about it.
Or give it to a third party.
I think about it once a month. I think about this.
But the problem is we're thinking of legit Yu-Gi-Oh! VR. That's AR.
No, whatever the fuck, I want to put on a goddamn headset. And like, even if I'm seeing the room in front of me.
But Bryan, there's like thousands of cards at the model.
I don't give a shit. They could do it. They can do it. If we're exploiting all of our game developers currently in the industry, we can fucking make that happen.
I think if it wasn't Konami who owned those rights, they
Microsoft
absolutely.
do it.
If fucking Fortnite can exist with all their shit, they can make a Yu-Gi-Oh. And that's what I'm saying. Just give the rights to someone else to make that fucking game.
You know how many people the game industry exploits on any given basis? And they're not exploiting them to make this one specific thing. They
wouldn't even make 3D models.
Yeah, the 3D model. No, that's boring. You have to make 3D models.
Yeah, they have to be 3D models.
They have to be destroyed. Yeah. They have to have a summoning.
But I'm giving them a way.
I'm just saying this is the threshold. Well, I'm okay with sacrificing human lives to get.
God damn.
That is what I'm saying. I'm saying that I am.
Give me what I want. Give it to me.
I am comfortable exploiting. This is obviously a joke.
Bryan, you want to hear the freakiest thing about this is the craziest thing you're going to hear on this podcast today.
Hmm?
They have Yu-Gi-Oh! VR.
Yeah.
It's in Antarctica. That's where they're keeping from. Konami's been working on the beta out there.
You gotta go over there, guys.
Could you imagine just for a second, just like you get out there and they're with a dual disc on like some like orb where it's like you're like, no way.
I'm like, Bryan, get Jordan, I got him.
Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, we do appreciate it a lot. We'll see you next week. If you want to follow the show or give us anything, like all links down below. If you guys are watching this on audio, please leave us a good review. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like. We're helping us get to 1,000. And we'll see y'all guys next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Running behind me like,
the fucking like dramatic car.
It's gotta be my car to drive. I summon Ultimate Dragon Tyranno.
Good shit.
Oh, man.